I have with me right here a fine bottle of Mike's Hard Lemonade.
Oh, I have like a glass of normal non-alcoholic Gatorade.
Yeah, well, I'm old enough to drink alcoholic drinks now without being told to do otherwise. So
Wow, look at you. So you get to forget your pain.
Well, I mean, it's not a whole lot. It's like 5%. It's like as much as
It's all. I was gonna say it's also Mike's Hard Lemonade.
I'm trying to get it open now, but it's really difficult because the cap is screwed on very tight.
You can do it. I believe in you.
I think I got it. Yeah. All right. Let's take a sip.
Wow. Biceps emoji. We're gonna hold on. We're gonna before we like start. I gotta lower my volume a little bit because it was clipping the thing. Now it's a little low.
You can't find that perfect medium. It's either high or low.
Well, fuck me then.
I blame the Emoji Movie.
Yeah, I blame the emoji. Movie. Thanks, Obama emoji.
I wonder if that exists.
Probably
that
not.
Probably has to.
An Obama emoji?
Yeah.
I don't think they like exist emojis of everything.
I mean, they're emojis are just so versatile and widespread, like that you can make anything into emoji. Like we could be emojis, as terrifying as that sounds.
You just said emojis are so versatile and widespread, and I was really close to saying, yeah, like my butthole. Can that be the intro?
Nothing else can be the intro, my dear friend. Hello, folks. Welcome to Everything But Music, episode 10. Woo!
Yeah. I want to die.
We both want to die. Now, originally, this was going to be the music episode of Everything But Music, since this is the 10th episode and all, but
important things happened.
Yeah, on both of our ends, and schedules just didn't align. That will be the next episode, though. We'll be talking music then. But today's episode is special, very, very special, because, 3 days ago, for me, I saw an amazing movie, and just yesterday at the time of recording, you saw that same amazing movie as well, Cam. Cam, tell us what that movie is, and on your end, the circumstances for you seeing this movie.
Okay. Well, yeah. So it's the Emoji Movie. That is what we're going to be discussing here. And for me, so even saw it. I don't really know what the circumstances of you seeing it were. Maybe
I just saw it with my buddies. There's nothing really funny or interesting about it.
I like realized like at the very end of the weekend, like shit, I gotta go see the Emoji Movie so we can do this podcast, because I really want to do the podcast on the Emoji Movie. But I was like, damn it, no one's gonna want to go see the Emoji Movie with me on like 0% notice. And just before, so like at noon, I was going out to lunch with a friend, and I like tried to like subliminally rope him into going to see the Emoji Movie with me. And it didn't work. So
can't imagine why.
So I was like, well, shit, now I gotta bite the bullet and go see the Emoji Movie by myself. So that happened.
Oh, okay.
No, what did you think I did?
I thought you had there was to be someone else who came in just at the nick of time.
No. Oh God, no. That would have been awesome.
It would have been awesome. That would have been a true hero.
To be totally honest, like I think like there might have been one or two people I could have asked, but I wasn't. I decided to like eat the shame of going to see it by myself, because then only I would know. But if I like went up to my friend and was like, "Hey, you want to go see the Emoji Movie in like 2 hours?" then like I would have to share that shame. But there was still lots of shame. I tried to cut down on the shame because I got like the self-serve tickets. That's one thing that I really like about living in the future, is that you can just do shit yourself and don't gotta embarrass yourself. Like I had to buy something embarrassing from the grocery store today, and I was really nervous until I remembered they have like those cool self-service checkouts. And I could just scan it myself and didn't have to get dirty looks from the cashier. So that was really great. No, That's a tangent.
They have those now?
Yeah, they have them at Walmart near me, and they have one at the grocery store.
I mean, I know they have them in the supermarkets. I have them too here. I mean, like for movie theaters.
Oh yeah, they have like self-service tickets. It's awesome. I don't know why people would continue to get in line. Like it's still like a huge line at the box office, and there was no line for the easy as fuck self-service thing. So I did that. So the cashier at that didn't have to walk up and say, one for Emoji Movie, please. Which is what I really wanted to avoid. This is a very sad story that we're kicking us off with. Yeah. This is just very unfortunate.
Yeah.
I do have friends, people. It's okay.
Yeah.
At least two.
And, yeah. On the contrary, I had to do that very thing, and I purposely mispronounced it out of just pure frustration. I was just like, one ticket to the Emoji Movie.
To the Emoji Movie, please.
To the Emoji Movie.
Pronounce emoji correctly and then movie wrong. One ticket to the Emoji Movie.
I probably should have just showed them my phone and just had like an emoji up there, and they would know what I was talking about. I wonder if that would have gotten the point.
That would have worked. So I did consider like buying a ticket to Dunkirk and then just going to Emoji Movie to avoid that, but then I realized they had the self-service ones, so I avoided that shame. And so the only person I had to really face some shame is the guy who's like standing in front of like the theaters, because it's like a really big theater. It's in like the huge mall in my town, which is like one of the biggest malls in the country. So like there's like 10 theaters like in this one wing, so he has to stand in front of it and take everyone's ticket. So he knew I was going to the Emoji Movie by myself, but I mean, I wasn't worried about him. If he was gonna embarrass me, then I could embarrass him because he's gross and working at the movie theater. That was mean.
Yeah,
that was mean.
Do you go there often?
No.
Okay, so I think you're good.
He's not gonna recognize me. This is all in my head. Like as like I'm like giving him my ticket. I don't even think he looked at like what ticket I mean, he did, because he was like, it's in theater number 13, and I was like, you're judging me, aren't you? Well, I'll have you know that I'll be recording a podcast later that at least 10 people will listen to.
And less than 10 minutes into that podcast, we haven't actually talked about the actual movie.
We have not talked about the movie. I'll get there. Good Lord. So, I went to, and I put it on Twitter. I thought it was really fun. The movie started at 4:20. That was pretty good. That was good. And the only other thing that I really want to hammer home is, so what I tried to do is I wanted to sit in like the very back corner, because I didn't want anyone to see. I just wanted to, again, hide my shame. I was so embarrassed to be seeing the Emoji Movie by myself. Not that I would have been like less embarrassed if someone else was there, because I'm still seeing the Emoji Movie, but sitting in the back corner is this like young 20, like my age couple acting like they trying to fuck at the Emoji Movie, sitting in the back corner. Like, what are you doing going on your date to the Emoji Movie? This is disgusting. Maybe they were brother and sister. I'm actually making a big assumption. I don't know their life. But what the fuck are you doing taking up my back corner in the Emoji Movie? So I had to sit like a few rows in front of the back corner, where they were like right behind me and probably sitting there and judging me the whole time. Anyway, then this family comes in with like 3 little girls who are all clearly very excited to see the Emoji Movie. They don't give a shit what it has on Rotten Tomatoes. They're just little stupid baby children. And they decide to sit in the exact row that I am sitting on the edge of. Like, I'm on the very edge, and they are like, there's like 4, because there were like maybe like 20 people tops in like this 200 seat theater. It was really sad. But they decide, okay, so there's like 5 rows open in this vicinity, but we're going to sit in the one that has a dude on the edge. So they all like plowing past me, and then when they all get up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the movie, I have to like move for them. So just like they're like extremely cognizant of the dude who's there seeing it by himself, and like the parents are probably leaving like, that guy is definitely a pedophile. And so like they're paying attention to me. They know I'm there because they have to say excuse me as they leave. So they're like, what is this 20-year-old man doing at the Emoji Movie by himself, sitting in the same row as my children? When I'm like, no, you're sitting in my row. So that's my story.
Should have just sectioned it off with police tape.
I would have brought police tape if I knew that. I would have gone to the 99-cent store, bought some like tape and been like, it's reserved. You can't come in here. This is a private screening of the Emoji Movie for me. I'm taking myself on a date. This is self-care. So that's why I had like an especially bad time seeing the Emoji Movie. It wasn't a fun viewing experience for me, and I feel like the movie really deserved a better viewing experience. Wasn't quite as bad as The Force Awakens, but
well, that's a story for another day, I suppose.
No, it's just loud as fuck because nerds.
Oh, yeah, that's fair as well. That was kind of the same when I saw that. But yeah, so is that the end of your amazing story?
That's the end of my story. I mean, then I got up and like sprinted out of the theater as soon as I saw like the ending logo.
Oh, man.
I just needed to hightail it out of there. Because like once I left like the physical theater, I was like, no one knows. No one needs to know. No one needs to know what I've seen.
Okay, in that case, we better rip this Band-Aid off before we delay the inevitable any longer. Let's talk about the Emoji Movie.
The Emoji Movie is a good movie.
And that's all for this podcast of Everything But Music. We'll tune in next time where the next podcast will be 2 gunshots on my end.
Then why 2? You're going to get 2 off. All right, let's try that take again. The Emoji Movie is a bad movie. No, leave that all in, by the way. I was that needs to stay in.
I know.
That's okay. The people need uncut, uncensored opinion on the Emoji Movie. In that case, actually, let me go again. The Emoji Movie sucks non-existent emoji wiener. They don't have wieners.
I don't know. How do you think those 2 meh parents bred the child?
How did they make a baby? I don't understand. They don't have wieners.
You don't know that?
I do. I saw all of them. None of them were clothes.
True, but like the cartoon animals usually don't wear clothes either, and they don't have visible.
I would beg to differ.
I mean, maybe Tanukis. That's a different. We're getting off topic again. Okay. We need to face this beast. Okay. Yeah. I'll quickly state my opinion as well. Trash.
It's bad.
Utter, irredeemable, lifeless trash.
It's bad. Feels bad, man.
Now, before we get into why we both think it is trash, let's just briefly talk about what positives in the biggest quotations.
Yeah, like the quotations are like size 100 font, and the rest of the word is like 6.
It's very big. It's looming over you like the dark emotions you feel while watching this movie. But we're talking about positives right now, so we'll get to that later. I'll go first. I had a couple, like very small, but a few. I think the best thing that this movie offered was it was bright. It had a bright visual style.
It was bright. That is true.
And the performances throughout were okay. They weren't anything special.
I was going to add that. They were tolerable.
Yeah, they weren't anything awful either. I mean, I could maybe think of 1 or 2 characters who didn't do particularly well, but again, mostly okay, consistently okay, which is actually kind of surprising.
I was not expecting the voice acting to be so, like, meh. That's one thing about the movie that was meh.
I mean, more surprising in that they put more. It seems like they put a bit more effort in than they probably needed to.
Well, I mean, T.J. Miller fucking left Silicon Valley for this shit.
Yeah.
So he better try a little bit.
Yeah. And my last positive for me was that the various concepts, some of the concepts kind of introduced at the very beginning of the film, both on the emoji world side and the human world side, could be relatable and were decent on like.
Wow, you're really reaching already.
the very, very, very basic level. There was, I mean, oh man, it was like
Okay.
I am trying to get
You are.
something out of this.
I don't have much to add. As far as positives, like the animation wasn't bad. It was fine. It was very disturbingly not like creative as it should have been.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But it looked fine representing what it chose to represent. Like it's not an ugly movie. So that was okay. Like you said, the voice acting was fine. There was nothing that stuck out about the voice acting as like particularly bad. I guess like it had, I don't even know how to articulate this, because what I was originally going to say is some of the jokes were almost funny. And that's not really true. It had a, what instead is true is that it used a kind of humor that I often find funny. I did not find it funny in this movie, but had they executed it better,
yes,
I would have found it funny. Like there's like that kind of like offhanded comment, like, or over-explaining thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like they would talk to each other in like a very like, and be like, no, I have no idea what you're talking about. Like that kind of thing. That can often be very funny, and good comedy writers often use. But they did not use it well or make anything funny with it. So that's pretty much the biggest unique compliment I have for it, is that it almost kind of tricked me into thinking it was something funnier than the Emoji Movie. But I did not laugh. And I did not really hear any of the children laugh either. Granted, there were only like 5 of them in the theater.
I think the only people in the theater who laughed at the jokes that this movie had to offer were a lovely old couple who were sitting behind us.
Oh, that's cute. They get to laugh.
And any laughs that were elicited from my friends and I were either unintentional or just kind of us riffing on the movie while we were watching.
That's fair. I'm a vicious perpetrator of doing that during the movie. Also, really quickly, I just need to get this out of my system like super fast, and it pertains to the movie. Everyone who's fucking like, don't go see the Emoji Movie, then they'll go make more bad movies. They're gonna fucking make bad movies whether you see it or not. Not only is the Emoji Movie like flopping horrendously, fucking 75% of the people seeing the Emoji Movie are like 3 years old, and the rest of them are their parents. The like 1% of adults who are just going to make fun of it is not going to make or break the Emoji Movie. So let people go see the movies they want to see, even if it's stupid and dumb like me. Okay, that's it. Anyway, the Emoji Movie.
Yeah. So let's transition on to the bad, and the bad.
That was our 5 minutes of almost positivity.
Yeah. So let me just start off this arduous and very, very lengthy section by reading the inspiration that the director, who has been working in the animation field for years.
Yeah, he's got to get ready to make his magnum opus.
Yeah, the inspiration the director had for this movie. He was inspired by his love of Toy Story.
Wait, okay, I guess.
I can kind of see that. And he apparently wanted a new take on the concept, asking himself what the new toy out there that hasn't been explored yet. Like, what hasn't been explored yet? We got these toys here. They had their story, but that's kind of done now, except it isn't. There's Toy Story 4 that's going to be coming out. I don't know how it'll turn out. But anyway, like, what new thing can we do that will separate us from Toy Story and all the other similar kind of movies?
So hold on a second. I was not aware that you prepared things. So what you're telling me is that his inspiration for this movie is quite literally the statement, what are the kids into these days?
Yes, and like at that moment, like as he was thinking that, he received a text message on his phone that had an emoji.
Yo, trying to fuck the eggplant emoji. And thus the Emoji Movie was born.
Yep. From there, that's what he realized he wanted to do. He wanted to make Toy Story with emojis.
Wow, that he fucking failed. That's really sad, actually.
And there are actually a couple more elements that he put in to the movie, because for him, he said it was very personal. It was a very, very personal movie. It was like,
that's bullshit. Stop that.
Yeah. But
that's good.
He
shit.
is he is apparently gay, which, I mean, that's fine, whatever. And he wanted to kind of explore like what it felt like to be kind of different in a world that expects you to be one thing. And yes, I'm reading this quote for quote from the freaking Wikipedia article.
He did not do that well. Oh God, why couldn't the Emoji Movie be super gay? Okay, that's actually really interesting, because I have a major complaint about this movie that that might be slightly relevant to, but maybe not.
Yeah, let me finish my little intro spiel. This is just the introduction.
The intros, we haven't even gotten into. No one knows what the movie is about yet.
Yeah, so again, the concepts that he kind of wanted to explore with this movie, I can see how that could be used as a good framework, or like something to build off upon, and that would turn into like a good film, like animated or otherwise.
Yeah, that is one thing. Like, maybe the Emoji Movie was never a good idea, but like an Inside Out situation inside a phone isn't like an inherently awful idea.
Mm-hmm.
Like, maybe basing it around emojis is very like gross and like kind of slimy, but like overall, like there's something there.
Yeah, and again, that's the thing. He wanted like all those concepts. He wanted to do something with those concepts, and he decided to make a movie about goddamn emojis.
Yeah, I don't buy that. I mean, so he chose to make what seems in concept like the most corporate fucking profitable movie of all time.
It's just like, first of all, why? Honestly, in my opinion, emojis, like, they've kind of sort of, I mean, they're still around, certainly, but I don't use them very often. I either like, and now I certainly won't use them ever again.
Are you gonna boycott emoji? What are the emojis themselves aren't responsible for this travesty? This is good old fashioned human barbarism.
Yeah, and like they've existed for decades now, like ever since email was a thing, and hell, even ever since like text on the internet was a thing. So I really wouldn't consider them to be technologically relevant, but I don't know. Maybe I don't know my business that well.
I mean, relevant, yes, because people use them a lot.
Morons do.
I would say, fuck you. I use emojis.
But you're an exception because you're not a moron, and everyone else who does use them is.
I completely disagree. I would say maybe even the opposite is true. But
I don't know. I'm just being facetious.
Facetious is a good word. But yeah, like I think they are used almost like now to the point where they're just kind of a thing. Like it's not a big deal. That's why it's another like complaint I'll eventually have with this movie ties into the fact that like emojis are no longer like a big deal. Like they're just a thing that you include in a text maybe. Like they've been around for so long that no one is like, oh man, emojis, which in one hand makes the movie a little more baffling in its existence, but also could have made it not as bad because it's not like, ooh, the new thing. Like it's not like the Snapchat movie or like whatever. Like it's not something that just became a thing, but it didn't help.
Yeah, I just find the concept to be incredibly flawed and almost just like you would have to work really hard in order to make it doable.
That's exactly the thing with this movie is that it. I mean, just because it is like the Emoji Movie and it has a character named Poop, and it's all that it had such an uphill climb and it did literally nothing well. You can argue about how much it did poorly, but it did nothing to like earn your respect. I guess
it's just like they looked at Toy Story and Inside Out and Wreck-It Ralph as well, and then decided to just do that but with emojis. And I just find that incredibly preposterous.
Yeah, they really did look at Toy Story in those two bad movies. Anyway. I don't think either. Actually, I do think Wreck-It Ralph is bad, but Inside Out is fine. Anyway. Not listening. Anyway, okay, before we just go in, like a little basic premise, what this fucking movie is about. The main character he's a meh emoji. He makes a meh face. He's played by T.J. Miller. He's all annoying, but the face of this is it's already too fucking inconsistent to explain. Like the face emojis are only supposed to make one face, and like that's it. They make the one face, and they're that emotion all the time. But he's a meh emoji, so he's supposed to be meh all the time. Like his parents, again, no wieners, so I don't know how they made him, but they did. And his parents are meh all the time, but he's not. He has all these emotions. He can make all the emoji faces, and that makes everyone hate him. And then he tries to not make everyone hate him.
Conformity is not good.
This has been the Emoji Movie, ladies and gentlemen, in 4 words. So, like, bottom line is like they go to work, and their work is like they stand in a thing and they make the face when the kid wants to text. Apparently they couldn't like print out pictures of themselves or anything. It's all very confusing if you think about it for more than 5 seconds. Here's my biggest issue. So it's all built around, they can only have one emotion. Because when they go in like their little cube, they need to make the one emotion. It makes absolutely no fucking sense that he has to have that emotion when he's not in the cube. And they never do anything to like explain why it is expected of him to do that. And that really annoyed me because I feel like even as a child, I'd be like, wait, so he's an actor. His job is to be an actor and to make one face. Why does he have to fucking make that face like every single day of his life? No one is walking around like asking fucking Daniel Day-Lewis why he isn't dressed up as Abraham Lincoln still. Like I don't understand. And they didn't feel the need to explain it. And that made me a little bit angry because I was like, why are you expecting me to take this for granted?
I wasn't seeing where you were going there at first, but now I totally get it. It's like the biggest form of method acting of any movie ever.
And it only is made worse by the fact that like anyone that's not a face like doesn't have that expectation. Like the poop emoji is like, oh no, and then he's like, yay, and so that's fine. But why? So why is it like the faces? Is that like some weird ass discrimination they have going on? Like why do they need to feel this only like one way at a time? Because it doesn't benefit their job in any way. If they had like thrown in literally anything to explain that, then I would have felt better about it. But as it is, there's literally no reason he needs to be meh except to make the face at the time he needs to make the face.
And so
it really, I know that I'm a fucking adult going to see the fucking Emoji Movie, okay? I know that. But that is like such a big, like you built your entire movie around this. Just put a bullshit reason in there. Be like, oh, it's because they have, like, they want to, and maybe just make it like an evil society. But it's not an evil society, just they expect you to do this. For no reason. It doesn't like benefit the evil leader or anything. It just happens. It's like, no, don't make the face. And it made me angry.
Like I said, it seems like they drew that specifically from Inside Out, and maybe similar kinds of things. But I can't.
But like Inside Out literally was like, well, she is sadness,
and she is joy, and
so like that makes sense. Where like because they serve that purpose in girl's brain, but like in this, like it's literally like the plot is built around like he only needs to do it for like 5 seconds. And like that becomes a plot point, like that he only needs to do it for 5 seconds because he can't fucking do it for 5 seconds, which also doesn't lead me to believe that our protagonist is like, oh man, so he's just a shitty actor. Just a dumb fuck. Can't give a blank expression for 5 seconds. That's not hard. I can do that. Give me the job. How much they paying? I can make a meh face and don't have a wiener. I can step right up. Disregard that second thing.
Yeah. And moving on, like I don't think
I can't move on even.
I don't think we need to do like a point for point plot description.
Who has the answers?
Personally, because like, although perhaps we'll bring up certain plot points and whatnot, I guess. But anyway,
it's just like addressing the characters who play a major role.
But like another huge flaw for me, and one that stuck out almost immediately, is that the pacing is so fast.
Oh, the pacing is incredibly fucked.
Like, I mean, I know like it's animated films are usually rather fast paced. Like and again, it's because like their main audience are children. But like this movie is just like it's like on crack.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Wanna play a fun game?
Yeah, sure. What?
See if we can answer this question.
Okay.
How much time passed between the beginning of the film and the end?
A couple hours.
Was it? Or was it days? Did the kid go to school and then come back? Did like one day of his phone making a couple of mistakes?
Yeah, and like...
And then he made an appointment immediately? How'd he get to the appointment?
How did he also come to the conclusion that his phone was fucked in the whole like couple of hours that occurred?
I don't know. It would make so much more sense if it was like over a couple of days, but they don't I have no idea. I don't know how much time passed in the real world. I have no idea what like the time period of that movie was supposed to be. And it made it like really dang confusing. Cuz if it's all over one day, then he's kind of weirdly creeping on this girl.
Yeah, and like certain scenes last no more than a couple minutes before just moving on to just something else completely different. And that
now for something completely different.
Yes, but not that kind of good different.
Yeah.
That's Monty Python. I'd rather watch Monty Python and literally anything else besides this. Something we're going to be saying throughout. But the fast pacing also just kind of completely ruins any potential like relationships between the characters or and any interactions, because like the main guy, he befriends the high five person, befriends, but like the thing is he's like,
yeah, they literally bump into each other and then they're friends.
Yeah, like almost immediately. But then like not even an hour or so later, and the high five guy is like in peril, like he's going to die or something along those lines. And then the main guy, Gene, by the way, that's his name, it's Gene.
I don't know why it's Gene. I expected it to be like a pun or some shit, but it wasn't. It's just Gene.
I don't know. And then he's like, I gotta save him. He's my friend. He's my friend.
Yeah, and I was like, another thing with like the pacing, but also just like the time, like how much time had gone by. I don't know. Like the movie makes it seem like it was a couple hours, and like they seem to be really good friends after a couple hours.
And again, going back to Inside Out, like that movie dictates rather well, I would say, like how much time has passed, and like what the whole like how exactly time passes within the brain of the main character and like the outside world of the main character.
Well, I mean it was helped by the fact they cut to the outside world like more than 5 times.
Exactly. And speaking of which, that's like another thing that the Emoji Movie apes from Inside Out. The whole like human world and like in the smartphone world kind of dynamic that was like in Inside Out, except like in Inside Out it was like the whole brain function, emotion world, and then the whole human world outside.
You could literally cut every single like human world scene from that movie
Yeah.
And it would change literally nothing because there's about like maybe tops like 3 actual minutes of screen time like in the human world.
Yeah,
and most of it could have been communicated like through the phone anyway.
But like also the thing is like if you would cut out like all the emoji crap, like in that world, the movie would actually be 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Like or even less than that. And it'd just be like perhaps like probably a really impressive college film that someone made about how some dumb kid in middle school wants to ask this girl to the dance, and he just like screwed it up because he just texted a bad emoji.
Yeah, and that's like the main. God, it's so. I was gonna say it sounds so stupid when you say it like that, but no, it just is really stupid. I mean, it's worse at the end because like
God.
the basic like real world plot thing going on is like, oh, the owner of the phone wants to ask out this girl and he tries to send her a text, but since Gene screws up his face, he sends a really weird text, and they were like, and she was like, it's a weird emoji, I don't really know what he's trying to tell me with that one. So she like kind of ignores the kid. And then when Gene like goes on his journey of self-discovery through all the fucking apps, it causes a bunch of like weird glitches with the kid's phone. So he's like, oh, I need to go get it wiped. And he wants to go get it wiped. So now they need to save the whole phone. And that's like how it affects like the kid. Now, just before we forget that the way that they save the phone is really something special. Because, yeah. Because everyone's dying because he's wiping everything.
So yeah, by the end of the movie, he's wiping the entire phone. He does actually do that.
I didn't realize that your phone wiped information like on the edge of your screen first, and then worked its way towards the center. I didn't realize. And then if you unplug it, then everything gets restored perfectly with like no like broken, like nothing. It's totally good. And what Gene does is like, oh, he's like, if we send a text to ourselves on the phone.
No, if we send a text to the girl.
Oh, that's right. He sent a text to the girl, which I didn't realize they could do independently. They never established that as a thing.
Yeah, that's another.
They just kind of whip that out at the end, like, oh, apparently the phone is also like autonomous and can just do what it wants. Like if it wanted to, it could ruin his life if he wanted. But what Gene does is he does like. Are you gonna say something before?
I mean, I was just gonna say that again like this whole like all these kids just like communicating with fucking emojis. Like at the very beginning, the kid's friend says, no one uses words anymore. Emojis
that's really annoying because like that's so out of touch and ridiculous.
No, we don't do that.
It says like words aren't cool. Like,
I mean, yes, smartphones are used by practically every person and teenager and middle schooler by this point in time. I get that. However, the whole emoji thing is fucking bonkers. Especially how he gets the girl, the main character, how he gets the girl at the very end.
So what they do is they have Gene get in like the cube thing.
Yes.
And since he can make like multiple emotions, like whatever, so like as they're scanning him, he does like a bunch of different emotions that are all like nervous, cute, kiss, blowing kiss, heart eyes, blah, blah, blah. And so like how the phone registers that text is as like multiple faces like popping up like one after another, almost like a GIF, but like it's just an emoji and it's multiple faces like looping. And so that emoji gets sent to the girl and she literally comes over and is like, hey, that's a pretty cool emoji. Want to go to the dance? like that's just like that is like that's not even like me like implying or like like this is what I'm getting. That is what she says. She's like, hey, I know I like said you were weird and avoided you like all the time, but that's a pretty cool emoji. You want to go to the dance, maybe?
Well, you could also argue that that was perhaps just the motion to communicate, and she's not necessarily allowing him to go to the dance with her specifically because he sent her that emoji.
She wasn't eager for a chance to talk to him because he like went up and tried to talk to her multiple times before, and she was like, you're weird.
Well, I mean, it wasn't quite that. He didn't say anything. He was just like your average fucking middle schooler.
He was being weird, but they very much make it seem literally by her saying, that's a cool emoji. And like, there's no like, they don't really give any hint that like she likes him too outside of her thinking the emoji is cool. Like she might, well, she texts him at the beginning, but like.
Personally, I mean, I can't believe I'm getting credit to this thing, but I think there was enough credence, like that she was like, oh yeah, this guy, if he asked me to the dance, I probably wouldn't mind.
See, I disagree. I didn't see anything like that indicated she was into him other than it's a kid's movie, there's a guy who's into a girl, the girl's obviously gonna be into him too.
I don't know. I mean, it's not like it wasn't the first time they're meeting either.
That's true. Like, I mean, that's not like the real, maybe it's because, and I do want to get into this, I have a lot of like nitpicks, but this isn't one of the nitpicks, so I'd kind of rather get to it early on. I think it's just that I had a big issue with like the relationship in general between Jean and there's like that. There's obviously like a love interest they have to introduce. Her name is Jailbreak. She's a hacker.
I get it.
She's a hacker. I don't know how a hacker would be a computer
program. And they find this hacker in a piracy app.
No, not a piracy app. The piracy app. You know, the one you download to pirate things.
And before we continue, I just like my friend pointed this out to me. Like he thought it was funny. How this kid, like, he had a piracy app so like that could like be implying a whole lot of things, but he had that there, and yet he didn't know how to factory reset his phone.
That is true. I didn't realize that. I didn't even think about that he had, apparently he has like a piracy app.
Like
that is like encrypted in some way because I had to put in like a code.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say if you have like a piracy app of sorts like that on your phone, you probably know at least more than the average person about like, the functions of said phone.
Because like most people, like, you know, a lot of people like pirate stuff on a computer, but I wouldn't really know how to like pirate stuff on my phone, mostly because I wouldn't really want to. It seems like a waste of time.
Also, the internet exists as well. He probably could have just looked it up.
I mean, honestly, could have just Googled it. But you can't Google with emojis, so what's the point?
And this well, I don't know. We might have had a computer phone anyway, but who cares? Never mind. Okay. Let's talk about Jailbreak.
I want to like transition it. Like, okay, her. You know what? You talk about Jailbreak for a little bit because I want to talk about mostly what happens with them once like their love connection is firmly established.
I thought she was stupid. From the outset, ever since I saw the previews as well, like her design was just like
very edgy.
I mean, it's so edgy. It's just so.
She has did you notice what was on her hat?
Was it the logo for Anonymous?
No, it was a QR code that was like in the shape of a skull. Like, I encourage you to look it up afterwards. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. And it was like immediately I was like, is that a fucking QR code? That's like, let me guess, can you scan that shit? Yeah, Google just like a picture of Jailbreak and you'll immediately, if you didn't notice it before, you will like immediately notice it and be like, oh fucking God.
I mean, I had a lot of other things on my mind at that point.
Fair.
But,
that's very fair.
Oh my God.
I don't know why it immediately caught my eye.
Oh my God.
Like, at one point I was like, what's on her hat? And I'm like, oh fuck, it's a...
Oh my God. That is a QR code. Holy fuck.
QR code. That's a skull. I wonder if you can scan that. Probably can. Like some emoji bullshit.
Anyway, so yeah, Jailbreak is just this kind of dumb, generic hacker, female hacker kind of thing, and I just found her kind of boring. I found her arc just dumb, and you know what? I'll admit I didn't know what exactly her motivations were and who she actually was, even though I could tell they were going for a twist of that kind, because that's what happened with Wreck-It Ralph.
Because that's what they did with the movies they were ripping off. So,
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But when the whole reveal happened, and it turns out she's actually a princess, which first off, the movie didn't establish enough time to give credence to that whole thing. They had those princesses in the beginning, but that was for only 5 seconds, and that just seemed like an offhanded joke, so it really wouldn't stick to you.
They did mention a couple of times she helped a princess get to the cloud or something. But maybe I only noticed that because I had that spoiled for me. I feel like being spoiled, that's the wrong term, but I knew that was going to happen.
I mean, I don't know. Spoilers are even for this movie, just I'm so sorry that happened to you.
So I made that connection. That's why they're saying that, because later on she is the princess, and good one.
Man, you know what? I'm so happy I looked up this character, because right next to the pic I'm looking at is a Rule 34 interpretation of her.
They don't have wieners! I'm gonna keep coming back to the wieners.
No. Well, I mean, they don't have wieners, but she got boobs.
Do they give her a wiener? I'm not interested if there's no wiener.
They gave her pierced nips.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna stop looking at that now.
Please do. So her deal. Oh, jeez. So her deal is she wants to get up to the cloud, which they don't really establish much of what the cloud is, other than it's cool, I guess, and you want to be there.
Because that's where all the cool kids are going. Yeah.
I mean, you don't see anyone in the cloud when they do go to the cloud. It's just a white city place that I assume. People what lives in there? Files? I don't know. What's
maybe Columbia's up there.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Although, well, I mean, that'd probably just be a more fuck situation.
Yeah. So that's her goal, is just to get up there, because she's just like Jean. She wants to be herself. Everyone wants her to be a princess, but she's a strong, independent woman, and that's where I kind of want to get something that frustrated me very much with this movie. Yeah, so her whole thing is that people want to say she should just be a princess, so she wants to leave Textopolis, which I think we forgot to mention is where this movie originally takes place. That's a city that they live in. So she wants to leave so she can be whatever she wants to be. So bottom line here is so once they get to the cloud and they seemingly complete their whole mission, first of all, they've set up throughout this movie that she's this very shallow, almost she says a lot of feminist shit that
oh yeah, oh god,
that isn't well implemented. I would consider myself very pro-feminist in most ways. Not that I really want to dwell on that, but it was very bad.
There was one point that stuck out to me.
The part where he finishes one of her sentences and she's like,
yes.
Men are always taking women's ideas, and I'm like, what the fuck is that about? Where did that come from? It was just pointless, and it was very. I mean, it wasn't the only point in the movie where something just came out of nowhere, the God knows why baffling Casablanca reference. That was weird. But did you catch that? You remember that?
Oh god, yeah. But that's another point for later. But continue.
We'll always have Paris. But yeah. So that, and they did that, and there was another one where she was like, oh, when the first emojis came out, a woman could only be a bride or a princess. And I'm like, okay, again, if you brought this up at a relevant time, this would be better than if you just started randomly saying it for no reason. And my real issue isn't so much that it tried to go for that, because like it was bad and it was like eye rolling and like, ugh, like come on, we get it. It was that any like pro-feminist thing they were trying to do throughout the movie, they completely undid with the ending, which is very strange to me and very like off message for the movie. Because again, it's a little late for a spoiler warning, and I'd like to get your input on this even, because I maybe this is just an issue I had. So they spend this whole movie kind of building up the theme of this movie is, oh, you should be your own person, do what you want to do, be yourself and don't let anyone else do whatever. So when they get to the cloud, Jean is like, man, Jailbreak, I really like you and I want to be with you and I want to get with you, and like it's like vague because it's a kid's movie, but it's like, I just want to be with you forever up here in the cloud. And she's like, oh, I mean, I like you too, but I want to do my own thing. Like, this has been what I wanted to do for a long time. And then
Which is fair, I guess.
No, that's super fair is the thing.
Yes.
That is totally fair.
Yes.
And then Jean like acts like a bitch and is like, oh, fuck this. I'm so angry. Now I'm meh because I don't feel anything anymore. And the movie is am I supposed to feel bad for him? Because then like he like sulks off because this girl wouldn't immediately drop all her plans for him. And like she's like, oh man, but I do love him and now I need to go rescue him now that he's been captured. I don't question like the rescuing thing. But just the fact that, like, we're very much supposed to be like, oh, poor Jean. When, like, he had no fucking right to, like, expect her to do any shit for him. And then she's just like, well, I guess I am going to give up on the whole cloud thing. Because in the end, she just comes back and lives with Jean. And what it very much came across as, and I don't know, but it very much came across as, yeah, you can have your whole feminist thing going on and be like a independent whatever girl, as long as in the end you come back and do what your boyfriend wants you to do. Like,
do they even really get together at the end? I mean, they're there.
Not really, but she's like, oh, I'm going to give up all of my plans and ambitions to be around you. Like, whether or not they get together, it's just like at the end, like, she could have just gone. But, like, no, they very much make a point to be like, and she stuck around here with Jean, kind of, but not in any specific way, but very heavily implied. And that's what really frustrated me, is that I'm not here to, like, analyze any, like, fucking, like, deep-rooted feminist message in the Emoji Movie. But when you're gonna, like, bring this obnoxiously to the front and center of the movie, you better fucking stay on message. And they didn't. They fucking undermined the whole thing in the climax because of course the girl is being a jerk for wanting to do her own thing, and it's very good that in the end she did what Jean wanted her to. And that annoyed me. That is my biggest overall criticism, is that it had this whole message of be yourself and do your own thing unless your male companion wants you to do something else. And then you should do that because he'll feel bad if you don't.
I think, like, if they...
That was very long-winded. I've been kind of dominating this. Yeah. I'm sorry.
This issue just seems like it's just another result of just the fast pace of this movie. Like, there's just no time to develop anything substantial. It's just, you gotta get that plot going, you gotta get all this crap going, or else, like, it's just not gonna be there. Because, like, again, this movie's 90 minutes long, and a lot of shit happens in there.
Yeah, it's a relatively short movie.
Yeah, and so there's just, like, I know, but there's just not enough time to make anything worthwhile. And if they had maybe, like, again, there's a foundation there. The whole relationship between those two, there is a foundation, because there was kind of like some sort of like flirtatious thing going on, as eye rolling as it was. Like, I mean, if there was perhaps more development.
I mean, because it was very much like, I don't like you. Oh, but we need your help. Oh, whoa, maybe you can help me too. All right, now we're on an adventure, and now we're pretty much in love.
I can kind of see like why they would put those two together, because again, their motivations are essentially the same. They both want to become like their own thing. Well, actually, no.
Their motivations are like opposite
Oh
until.
God, wait.
But like not.
But I mean, yeah, their motivations
like, you
are
know that like Jean isn't like genuine and like I just want to be like everybody else. Like it's very clear that like.
Shit, yeah, I misstated that. I mean, okay,
No,
so
no,
like,
I know what you mean. Like they like maybe their goals aren't the same, but like
yes.
who they are, like the themes of their arcs are pretty much the same.
Yeah, like, I mean, as Gene does want to become like a man emoji just like his parents, but he is like still like his own thing, and perhaps Jailbreak kind of sees like that as, I don't know, some sort of attraction, because that's what she wants to do.
I don't doubt like that they are like into each other. The movie very clearly like establishes that.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
it just is very frustrating that it's like, because when she was like, no, I'm doing my own thing, I'm like, okay, it's actually gonna be like, no, do your own thing. And then it just wasn't anymore. And that's what really frustrated. And of course it just so happens that the person who gave up on what they wanted to do for someone else is like the one female character who isn't the main villain. And I just thought that was dumb. If you're gonna bring up like this obvious like feminist thing in a movie that's about being yourself, don't have the cliche climax where the girl gives up everything for the guy. That's really lame. Believe it or not, breaking news, the Emoji Movie is really lame.
Yeah, so since we've gotten most of the major scenes and major characters out of the way, let's talk about some of the other scenes and characters. Let's talk about Jean's parents, the two Mez. They're fucking annoying.
In the Emoji Movie.
So annoying. Oh my god, what even was that?
I don't know what they were going for. I really don't. Because, like, I did hear, like, going in, people, like, rumbling, like, there's a divorce subplot in the Emoji Movie. And I'm like, excuse me? And there wasn't. Like, don't get your hopes up.
There was domestic conflict.
There was domestic conflict. It, like, not like that. But, like, there was arguing and, like, a vague, like, maybe this isn't good for us and I should leave. And, like, that kind of thing.
And it's just handled again. Another result of the pacing is just not done well enough, not fleshed out enough. The basics are there. It's somewhat competent, but it's just like, no, I don't buy this at all. And that final scene where they're in the Instagram thing, which, you know what? Actually, I kind of did like that, because it was like a frozen picture.
That was one of the kind of cool ideas the movie had.
Yeah.
Like that would like the movie was like criminally short of cool ideas, but that was one of them. Like when they go into Instagram, like they can walk into the picture and it's like a frozen moment in time. Yeah, and they just kind of walk around.
Yeah, and then it's revealed that of course the father is like multi-emotional, even though he doesn't. He kind of does show that more so in his like expressions rather than the tone of his voice, because the person,
like both the parents are like very, like the whole thing is like they speak very monotone because they're meh.
The person who voices the father is like a comedian who is kind of known for that. So, I mean, I don't know the comedian very well, so I'm not sure if they were.
What's his name?
Stephen Wright.
Yes, I was gonna say it's the. I was gonna say, it's the dude who did the turtle in those Swan Princess movies. I don't know why. That's why I know him from that.
I mean, I guess they were kind of like working with the limitations.
I mean, that's his thing.
I don't know.
That makes sense. I should have identified. Yeah, he does that. But I do want. Yeah, that is like, while we're on that subject. Like the nitpick that I had is just there are so many like minor baffling decisions that I will pile up eventually. One of them is just an out of nowhere Casablanca reference, and it wasn't like a slight one. Like they end the scene on this Casablanca reference. Like the mom and dad make up, they're walking away, and then there's the dad emoji is just like, "We'll always have Paris." And then the scene ends. That's it. Like, hard cut to the next scene. Like, then there's nothing leading up to it other than they were in Paris.
Or pictures of Paris, to be specific.
And in a picture of Paris. And I'm like, who is that for? Is that for the adults? Is that for... Kids don't know Casablanca, and the adults are already miserable at this point. So, what is this for?
I personally haven't seen Casablanca, and so that reference didn't quite come across there.
Oh,
but
okay.
Once you pointed that out, I was like, oh yeah, okay, that would make sense. And this is so fucking stupid.
Yeah, it's funny. Actually, I was talking with them about Josh. I was talking about the movie with Josh, the guy who was a guest on a earlier podcast, and he was like, "Oh, that's what that line was. I knew it was out of place." He's like, "That was a really weird line, and I didn't know why they included it." It's like, so now I know it's a fucking reference to a movie I've never seen.
Oh man.
But yeah, I was like, "What is that?" Like, and even half the adults aren't gonna get it because they haven't seen that many movies from 1942 or whenever.
Yeah.
Casablanca, I think, was a little later than 42, but who cares?
Yeah.
That was the only cool app, by the way.
Yeah. We'll get to the apps eventually. Oh, we'll get to them. But so yeah, that was kind of their arc, and in the end, they kind of started in the beginning like, oh, we don't want you to do this. We just want you to become a emoji. And by the end, they're like, okay, like do whatever you want, whatever. We'll support you. And so yeah, that's enough of those fucking parents. Let's talk about the main villain because it's annoying. It was. Again, like, probably one of the slightly better characters because it was just, like, a kind of, like, an emotionally unstable smiley emoji.
Yeah, like, she was, like, a big smile, but she was always angry and maniacal.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's not like we haven't seen that before, but... I mean, I did kind of find that slightly amusing. And you know what? I probably would have rolled my eyes into the back of my head, like, about the millionth time if, like, she had, like, just completely lost it by the end. Like, completely frowned and everything and just went totally bonkers. That doesn't happen, but her perfect teeth do get ruined by the end of the movie. And I don't think you saw this because you said you skipped out on the credits.
Oh, yeah, I left immediately, so did something happen?
There was a mid-credit sequence where she was hanging out with all the other, like, bad emojis where, Gene, met the hand emoji, like, his best friend, because they were all, like, rejected emojis. She ends up down there, and she has braces on.
Oh.
Yeah, because, like, her smile is completely ruined. Because, like, a giant platform fell on her.
Wait, didn't they get rid of the reject emoji room? Wasn't, like, the whole end, like, oh, we got rid of... now everyone can be in the cool section. Because the Emoji Movie ended racism.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. They literally managed to fuck themselves even more after the movie ended. What the fuck?
Yeah, so anyway, and like her whole arc is like, oh, okay, I'm the smiley person. Oh, no, I want to kill you. I want to kill you, Gene. And she uses like these viruses to go and try to do that, and like eventually upgrades the virus into like a super virus thing. And it's just like a bunch of and it's mostly uninteresting. Kind of amusing character, but just like
the best things in this movie are like things that could have been good if done well, but they weren't, so it doesn't really matter.
I suppose besides that, those were like mostly the major characters. And I know we didn't talk about like the hand emoji guy, but we really don't need to.
The hand emoji is James Corden.
Yeah, and personally I didn't care for his performance.
He was not great. Alright, one thing here's what you need to know about his character. The movie almost scored a point for me when it made a joke about how bad black licorice is. Because they went with Candy Crush, and he like takes a bite of licorice, and he's like, why do I always think I'll come around on black licorice? And I'm like, black licorice is gross. True that, movie. But then later on, he like eats a bunch of candy corn. And I'm like, bullshit, movie. You know candy corn is disgusting.
Yeah, there was one joke. Like I think he was like talking about, oh yeah, I was hanging out with the peace sign earlier, and like we were hitting things up or something because like apparently the peace sign emoji was like a female or something, but or
guess.
maybe I don't know. Anyway, and like, and his character is kind of like he's a bit of a ponce, and so he probably said something stupid, and then he's like, oh yeah, like she gave me a really special finger, and I mean.
I was confused. I was confused by that line too. I didn't know what they were going for.
I mean, I thought like they didn't quite pull it off as well as they could have, but I kind of saw what they were going for there.
Well, like,
and I thought
like
that was kind of funny.
I felt like the delivery like was kind of like unclear, so I didn't know if they meant for like a sexual thing or like she flipped me off or whatever. Even though that's a separate emoji, can they even extend their fingers? Because like I don't know. Because then why would you need separate emojis to be the fist bump and the hand? Because he can bend, but like not that much. So what's even the point of letting him bend? I don't know.
If they had the middle finger emoji in that movie, that would have been a immediate 10 out of 10.
Okay, here's one thing that I didn't really like. Because, I mean, the space that we could use to talk about one of the major characters, we can instead talk about the use of the eggplant emoji.
I didn't notice anything, to be honest.
And here was my... All right, I'm going to just keep borrowing stuff from Josh. Josh just should have taken my place on this one.
I didn't know he watched this movie, too.
Yeah, he did. I don't know why. You can ask him. We all make bad choices sometimes. And so the eggplant emoji is in like the loser emoji. Fuck you, beeping thing that's beeping. Fuck you too. God damn it. God, it's got me all shook up. The eggplant emoji is in the loser emoji, the den, where like the emojis that the kid never uses go.
Oh, I can't imagine why.
And I was like, why? Do they just not know how emojis work? And then Josh was like, oh, I just assumed it was because he was like a fucking loser virgin.
Well, to be fair, he was in middle school, and like 90% of that are
that's true.
Yeah,
I'm like, if that's the case, then I feel like fucking loser versions ironically sending of eggplants are the main way they get used anyway. But okay,
yeah,
you're not a loser if you're a virgin. I love you.
Thank you.
I'll have sex with you. Not. I was talking to the people listening, not you.
Well, I was listening as well, so.
No, you're not invited to the pants party.
Oh. I'm so sad. And now I'm even sadder than when I watched the Emoji Movie.
Emojis don't have wieners. I'm not gonna get over it.
Okay. So we've gone over like the major characters, most of the major plot points. I want to go over like the cringiest moments of the entire movie, the fucking dance sequence.
Oh my god. Okay, here's my number one question. Does Just Dance have an app?
Well, let's just find that out.
I don't really care. But I do question, because it doesn't... How?
I wouldn't be surprised, because that thing's available anywhere. Okay, Just Dance Now. That's available on mobile. It was released in 2014. Did not get very good reviews. Let's go to the Wikipedia page. Yeah. It has 99 love balloons on it. Okay, I can go with that.
Never mind. 10 out of 10.
Okay, yeah. Perfect. But yeah, so in that sequence, it's like while they're trying to get to the cloud, Gene, Jailbreak, and High Five, they have to get through a certain amount of apps, and one of them is the Just Dance app. And in order to get through the app, they have to like dance to a bunch of pop songs.
Don't they dance to Wham?
Yeah. Wake me up before
why do all these kids movies so intent on making me remember that George Michael is dead? I don't know why. This isn't fucking Sing. Oh, jeez, stop.
Oh man, do they have that song in Sing too?
Yeah,
it
it was multiple times used in Sing.
Yeah, I haven't seen Sing because it looked like I first saw it and I'm like, that looks like the most generic animated film of all time.
Even I didn't enjoy Sing. What does that tell you?
I don't think anyone with in good conscience and decent brain functions enjoyed that movie.
You underestimate the furries.
Uh,
That's what I'm saying. Even I didn't enjoy this movie.
Okay, well, I mean, I'd also counter argue.
Anyway, back to a movie that did make me very aroused sexually. The Emoji Movie.
Yeah. Oh God, that dance girl had so many good moves. The
Emoji Pop. I like how they were like, okay, we need to come up with a dance, and their dance was putting your hands over your face
and making a bunch of stupid faces.
Like that was like the dance, the creative dance they came up with that they literally like did at the end, like a big dance number.
And then when they first was doing that, Gene was first doing that, and the dancer was like, "Is that your dance?" And he's like, "Yeah." And then it's just like a pause, and then it's like. This was like probably the worst part of the movie for me, besides the ones that are actually the worst part of the movie. And then she's like, "I love it."
Yeah. That was really bad.
Yeah, and also fun fact: that person is also voiced by Christina Aguilera.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Well, that explains another baffling thing about the movie, but we'll get to that next.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
God, we still have to talk about the fucking apps. God.
Oh yeah, we'll get to the apps, but yeah, so again, that whole sequence there was just like total.
Ow.
No, just stop. Although I'll admit, another kind of funny part in the movie was when they got to the trash sequence, and well, I mean, the thing is, the Just Dance app was playing. Quite loud in the human world while that whole sequence is going on, and the only way the kid I don't care for
the only way the kid knew how to deal with it is just delete the app off his phone entirely.
And well, yeah, I mean he didn't delete it entirely; he put it in the trash, and then we are in the trash now because apparently that the high five person gets sucked into there. While the Just Dance app is being deleted, and that's the point where the Gene person who their friendship has been formed over an hour, and he's like, "Oh, I gotta go save my best friend." Oh. And so he goes to do that, and then you see the Just Dance girl just kind of like sitting in the trash, just kind of doing her dance, and she's just like. I don't remember what she said, but I did.
I think she said something along the line of I just wanted to dance. Okay, but that's what made it weird is that she fucking dies. No, she's dead.
I guess. I mean, well, by the end of the movie. Everything's been restored, so
no, but he left it in the trash, and they said the trash gets deleted at the end of the day.
Okay, well,
they just left everyone in there to fucking die. She's dead, and they let her die.
I know, but still, just like that one moment there.
No, it just made it awkward. I don't know why they needed to literally be you're gonna die, just hammer home how everyone who they don't save is dead as well.
Man. And again, there are a couple other characters that also went into the trash that kind of did gloss over as well, but they're not important. Like the stupid internet troll, the spam message.
Why were internet trolls? They were also in the piracy app. Who is getting trolled while pirating music? You're pirating the fucking Lady Gaga album? Oh, gay. What?
The more we talk about this, the more shit we uncover. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, that was I get why the Trojan horse was in there and all. Why are internet trolls? Why were there no trolls at YouTube? Like, that's where they all hang out. God.
Yeah. I guess now would be a good time to talk about the apps. And you know what? I'll go first again. This was the worst part of the movie for me because it showed like just how little of a fuck these people, all the creators gave. They said otherwise. Sony themselves, I think Sony, they themselves said they didn't want this to be a whole commercial, and I've said that's bullshit.
Yeah,
because they have all these apps and they are by their actual name.
Oh yeah,
there's
like Spotify,
the YouTube track, Spotify app, the Instagram
Dropbox.
app, the Just Dance app, and then the Twitter bird.
Yeah, the Twitter bird does. I made a jerk. I made a joke when I first after I saw that, where I was like, no, this is another. That was another random thing that Josh mentioned to me about the movie, because he saw it before me. He was like, the Twitter bird comes in and gives them a ride, and I'm like, really? Is it accurate to Twitter? The Twitter bird comes in chirp chirp, Michelle Obama is a man. Hashtag make America great again. Chirp chirp. Chirp chirp. Did you know that black people commit more crimes than white people? Chirp chirp. Just spreading random bullshit. No, of course not. Just the Twitter bird shows up. I'm it's not accurate to Twitter if no one is being pointlessly racist and garbage.
And of course, the Twitter bird was in the Dropbox app. Which, why do you have your Twitter in Dropbox? First off,
yeah, I don't really know what that was supposed to mean. I really don't think that I don't think the people who wrote this movie know how to computer. There was one more I forgot. You okay?
Fucking Candy Crush. Fucking Candy Crush.
Candy Crush was pretty bad.
That was the first app that they went into, and up until that point, it was okay, you know what, this movie's bad, but I can kind of tolerate it, I guess. And then once they introduced Candy Crush, I was like, okay, no, just no.
It's not, Candy Crush isn't even a thing anymore. It was the first of several weirdly dated moments in this movie that is very much supposedly all about being cool and hip and new.
You know what? Even then, fucking Candy Crush is a piece of garbage app made by a piece of garbage company as well. Just the fucking free-to-play microtransaction bullshit that I can go on forever about that, but I won't. But I'm just again, all of these apps are in here, and even though they say it's not a huge commercial, they're still in here. It's all by name. Yeah. So of course,
and you don't lose anything if you don't name them. It is annoying when movies make up fake companies, but they also could have done it in a way that wasn't obnoxious.
Yeah, honestly, the movie would have been infinitely better if they had just named all of the apps into something something generic. You could kind of tell what the apps are, but it's a generic name. So
yeah,
but the fact that they named them by their actual name, it
needs to not be stupid, but you can't Clicksters, hello. It's hard to strike that balance, but it definitely came across on the ad side.
It was a total ad. It was totally an ad.
And there, definitely. And there were certain, one thing I noticed, and this is again me analyzing the Emoji Movie too much. Most of the time when they showed the screen, there was only one real app on screen, so your eye was immediately drawn towards that one app that you recognize, just to give maximum exposure. That's one thing I noticed that was really annoying. When the kid was flicking through the screens and there's 12 apps per screen or whatever, there was always one app that you immediately recognized as oh, there's Spotify, oh, there's Facebook, oh, there's Instagram, and all the rest were generic fake ones. And that really annoyed me. They specifically set it up that way so your eye would immediately catch the one you recognize.
I kind of did want to just walk out of the theater after that, but I stayed. But if they had introduced Pepsi into there, then that all best would have been off. I would have just gone.
But dude, when your phone is acting up, nothing hits the spot like an ice cold Pepsi. Introducing the new Pepsi emoji.
Because you can pour the Pepsi all over your
Yeah.
phone. That'll fix it.
Your phone was probably just really thirsty for a nice, cool, refreshing Pepsi, so it tried to drink one for itself. But it's a dang phone. It can't drink, so it just got broken.
I'm respecting your identity. I'm respecting your identity. Oh, man.
God, like that was one of like my many like nitpicks that contributed to my like just overall detesting of the movie.
Yeah, that was the worst part for me. Like, so no, I'm just again.
Oh, not even like the ad overall, just the fact that like the one per screen thing. I'm like, that's so sleazy and gross.
Yeah,
like that's so like calculated to maximize like your advertising effectiveness. Really quickly, I do want to say. Like before we move on from the apps thing, they do go to YouTube at one point.
Oh yeah.
And the video they chose to like highlight as like on YouTube to like kind of represent YouTube as a whole was Pen Pineapple Apple Pen. That thing that was relevant for like a week, like a year, like not even a year, like 9 months ago. And like that just kind of signals what kind of movie this is. Because, like, if you had gone with, like, I don't know, it could be anything. It could be, like, that, hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. Any, like, video that's been a thing for more than a week. It's just, like, how, like, Pen Pineapple Apple Pen was a thing for, like, a second, and then it was, like, gone. Then no one cared anymore. But, like, they had to go with that one.
Yeah,
like,
Pineapple Apple Pen.
It made it just so dated already. Like, so, like, this is what the video the kids like right now, right? And it's like, no, they don't. Again, I forgot who said this, but it would have been really great if it's just like, they walk in, it's like, it's Keemstar, let's get right into the news. Watch Keemstar spew some bullshit.
I was thinking that, like,
wow.
if there were any memes spouted from the Emoji Movie, it would be something to do with the YouTube app, because, like...
Yeah, like, they walk in, it'd probably be pretty easy to, like, just, like, put a different video. And then, like, they go, like, he's so expressive. That actually could work. That was the one. And, like, the YouTube app just looked so lame. Like, it wasn't, like, videos flying everywhere. It was just, like, a screen. Yeah,
and again, before we move on, I again, the visuals are the one kind of decent thing about this movie, but even then, I found a lot of them to be very bland, simple, just not very appealing to me as a fan of animated films.
Yeah,
to be honest, just like the design, it's just so rounded, and all the character designs too are just so lame, so fucking lame.
They are lame. They're just like, I guess there's not too much you can do with emojis. But at the same time, like, just.
I mean, that doesn't stop people from making Rule 34 of it, but
apparently people are attracted to the circles with legs.
I hate the internet sometimes.
I really do. Okay, I want to quickly like transition to talk about the music briefly.
Yeah.
Because I mean, God, at this point, like we've covered so much shit. The music was a really weird, baffling thing. Like I think the best way I can sum it up is that there was not one but 2 Pitbull songs from like 4 years ago, or like that are just like not popular. Like they played Fireball when they were trying to get through the firewall, and that was one of the weirdest moments I've ever seen, because it was like a pun, but like it was just them saying like fireball, and I'm like, no, it's a firewall. It's a joke. I mean, is that I was so confused.
You don't see, Cam. The thing is, when they say that, you can barely tell they're actually saying fireball. So who cares?
But I was just like so because I'm like it's like fireball, and I'm like, yes, I guess. What?
What was the other? What was the other song? Cause
Feel This Moment was the big ending song.
Oh yeah, fucking feel this.
And like
moment.
feel this moment.
Feel
That's what I was
this
gonna
moment.
say. That's why. That's probably why they used it because Christina Aguilera was in the movie.
Oh God, of course.
That makes sense now. That's why I was like, oh, it makes sense that it's Christina. Because otherwise, why would they use Feel This Moment from like 2013? Like, what? Also, they did use 2 Pitbull songs, but I don't think they played any Pitbull. It was just the chorus of those 2 Pitbull songs that Pitbull doesn't sing on.
Oh man. You know what? It also just occurred to me that the film's soundtrack didn't have like a single original song on it. I mean, there was one, and it was like, Ricky Reed, kind of that producer, singer guy who's done like a lot of the popular music lately. What did he do? Oh yeah, he produced Wiggle, Talk Dirty. Okay, I probably shouldn't have said lately. Oh yeah, No. Too.
Oh.
Yeah. Bills too. So he did one good thing.
Yeah,
Bills.
you can say that. Yeah, he did do one good thing. Both of those Jason Derulo songs.
So like he had like a song called "Good Vibrations." I haven't heard the song. I
mean, I didn't notice it.
Neither did I. It's probably playing over the end credits, like
maybe. As we've firmly established, I have no idea how those went down.
Yeah, I just I left after the mid credits sequence, and
I wasn't staying till the very end for a look at Emoji Movie 2.
Like, what the hell can you even do with Emoji Movie 2? Like, the phone breaks, it gets thrown into the water.
Too fast, too text.
Oh God. Jeez.
Emojis in space.
Yeah. But yeah, music wise, personally, it was just like a generic orchestral soundtrack with like a couple of electronic elements thrown in there to kind of sort of attempt a unique element in there to the soundtrack, but it was
just lame. And like I said, like the pop song choices were baffling. Like the whole movie is just so dated, but it's not dated to like any consistent like time period in the past decade. Like it's like it goes from like pen, pineapple, apple, pen. That was relevant in like early 2017. Here are a couple of Pitbull songs that were relevant in like 2013. Like everyone is saying like blessed and what, like that was a lot more typical of what was going on in like maybe like 2015. And it's just it's all over the place of like it's all stuff that has been relevant within like the past 5 to 10 years, but not much of it is relevant now.
Yeah, so I think that's pretty much all we can cover with the fucking Emoji Movie. For me, on my end at least.
Yeah, I have 2 super brief, or one of them's not super brief, one of them just kind of like an issue that I had, but one of them that I'll say for the very, very end is like such a huge nitpick, but it annoyed the shit out of me for like 10 minutes after I saw it, because it was very early in the movie. And I maybe you noticed it, but I kind of doubt it, just because I feel like only a true asshole like myself would pick this out. One thing that annoyed me very much is they literally couldn't do anything without explaining it 5 seconds before, and that includes tell jokes.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah,
like when he bumps into like the emoticons and is like there's a moment in the trailers where he like bumps into some emoticons and you hear him say like, "Oh man, I hate bumping into the elderly." And like they're like, "Oh, my colon," which first of all, old people don't say, "Oh, my colon." How do you injure an old person's colon? Like I get, because like, oh, they have a colon in the. No, it's not double entendre if it only makes sense in one way. But I figured in the trailer that they dubbed him in saying like, "Oh, I hate running into the elderly," because like they would have set it up earlier in the movie. But for the trailer, they needed you to get the joke like in the moment. But no, that's just what he does. He bumps into them and says, "Oh, I hate bumping into the elderly." Imagine fucking bumping into an old person being like, "Oh," and just saying to yourself, "I hate bumping into old people." Like, fuck yeah, oh my god, that's so dumb. Like, it just looked so dumb to see him, like, do this thing and be like, I hate doing this thing I just did. Like, that annoyed me. And the movie was just full of, like, no, this is the way things are. This is going to be relevant in about 20 to 30 seconds, so we had to say it right now. It just annoyed me. Can you sense that I was annoyed by the emoji
I don't
movie?
know. I'm not sure if it's coming out clearly. Why don't you talk about your last annoyance? Let's see if it clicks this time.
No, like, I mean, that was just a frustration I had. Like, it just seemed like they had to, like, frustratingly over-explain things rather than, like, setting them up. Because that's the pacing you were talking about.
Yeah.
Like, they just, like, well, it's got to go in, and we can't, we don't have time. But here's, and this is the ultimate nitpick, but oh my god, as soon as I saw it, I was like, what the fuck? Do you remember the first classroom scene, like in the real world?
It's coming back to me. It's coming back to me now. Oh lordy. Yeah. It was. Was it the? Okay. Let me guess. Was it the teacher trying to connect with the kids with the smartphone on the chalkboard thing, something like that?
I mean, yes, but it's very specific. Okay.
No phones. Was it him saying no phones?
No.
Okay.
Oh god, it's so much like stranger than that.
Okay.
What was he teaching them about? Do you remember what he was teaching them about?
Oh god, it's on the tip of my tongue. Oh man.
And it's not even this. It goes a layer deeper than this because it just baffled me that they chose to do this.
It was fucking...
He was trying to connect it to emojis. Because he's like, it's a written language that doesn't use pictures.
Hieroglyphics.
Yes. Thank you. Good job, Ethan. That's not the point, but still, it was kind of baffling how he was like, what's another language that we communicate in using pictures? But he never like actually like articulated emojis, so it just kind of left floating out there for the kids to understand, I guess. I don't know if it was supposed to be like a Dora the Explorer situation where the kids are supposed to yell at the screen like emojis. But here's what baffled me is when they cut to this scene, you see the teacher drawing a hieroglyphic on the blackboard. And then they cut out to a wider shot where the fucking blackboard is full of hieroglyphics. The motherfucker spent all morning writing out hieroglyphics on his fucking blackboard instead of just using a gosh darn projector like it's the 21st century. This made me so angry. Do you remember that? He draws one on the chalkboard, implying that the entire chalkboard full of Egyptian hieroglyphics were hand-drawn by this professor. Teacher man.
I didn't even think of that. Holy shit.
How fucking ridiculous is that? And I only...
Maybe it's like a whole stereotype thing, like, oh, these adults can't try to connect. They can try to connect with these kids all they want, but they just don't know how to do it. So of course we're gonna represent that by having this stupid idiot writing down fucking hieroglyphics on a chalkboard.
No, even. Because if there's one thing I know about teachers, first of all, he wasn't even that old of a teacher.
Yeah, I know, but
second of all, if there's one thing I know about high school teachers, it's they love to not understand kind of dated technology. If that's a real high school teacher, he's playing with a projector for like 30 minutes trying to get that thing up.
Yeah,
but that boggled my mind. Some animator had to sit there and animate him drawing this one hieroglyphic and didn't think, wait a second. Why am I animating him drawing a hieroglyphic? You telling me he drew all these hieroglyphics?
Maybe he was, but he was getting paid pretty well, so he didn't care.
He was like, oh, I need to put in the overtime to draw all these meaningless hieroglyphics for the kids.
I wonder if they meant anything. Like, if that was like a message or something.
it just wouldn't have been a problem if they didn't fill up the entire whiteboard with what must have been hours of work of hieroglyphics that I'm now led to believe that he's spent doing for no reason when it's 2017 and he could just pull them up on a computer. I want to tweet the Emoji Movie and ask for an official explanation. Why did the teacher spend all this time writing out a bajillion fucking things on the whiteboard? I'm really sad it's not an important scene because it's probably not like uploaded to YouTube. Because I need to like verify that I wasn't going crazy.
I don't think anything is out of bounds for like describing the Emoji Movie.
So bottom line, the Emoji Movie is bad because it's not in hieroglyphics.
And that is the biggest problem that any movie could ever have. I think it's pretty much plagued every movie in existence, except maybe The Mummy. Although I could be wrong, I haven't seen that in a while. I just thought Egypt and like, oh, Mummy. But yeah.
Wait a second.
So yeah,
I know a very good movie that has hieroglyphics. It's called Scooby-Doo and Where's My Mummy?
Oh my god,
that movie has hieroglyphics.
Best movie ever.
It's a good movie.
I actually haven't seen it. Is that one of the newer ones?
No, it's from 2005. That's actually prime territory for the Scooby-Doo direct-to-video.
Oh
movies.
yeah, that was kind of like during their weird What's New Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, that's when they were in the animation style of What's New Scooby-Doo, and they were like, let's be kind of self-aware, but not too self-aware.
Yeah, I think like before I stopped like watching the movies and kind of Scooby-Doo in general, up until like Mystery Incorporated and whatnot, that I think the latest one was the Loch Ness Monster.
That one's good.
Was it? Yeah.
Can I just... Actually, it's not great, but Can I just say that I Googled, just to end on something totally different, I Googled Scooby-Doo Egypt, and the second, because I didn't remember what the movie was called, the second result is an entry in Scoobypedia for Egypt that begins, Egypt is a country in the Middle East. Well said. Glad that holds true in the Scooby-Doo universe.
Oh, boy.
Egypt is a country in the Middle East.
Yeah, so bottom line, The Emoji is a terrible movie because it doesn't describe Egypt as a country in the Middle East. What the fuck?
Yeah, and Scooby-Doo does that, so go see Scooby-Doo instead. Mm-hmm. Go see the new Scooby-Doo movie, the first in the Hanna-Barbera cinematic universe, sometime in 2019. It's real, ladies and gentlemen. Look it up. I'm not joking.
Oh, God. Right, I keep forgetting about that. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, The Emoji Movie, worthless pile of trash. I wouldn't go see it. I'm never going to see it again, bottom line. Like, I'm never seeing it again. I would not even bother to get, like, pirate it or anything, or see it illegally.
Yeah, download the piracy app, though. Just be careful not to get trolled. Be careful not to get trolled.
I don't know how. I mean, God, and my phone's just been acting up so lately. I think I just need to go to like my local tech support and factory everything.
I wonder if kids are going to be like really scared now that if they like erase stuff off their phone, they're fucking murdering all of the tiny people that live on their phone.
Well, no. That's not going to be a problem because they can just unplug the phone and all of the data will come back.
Yeah, but what if they don't unplug the phone?
Well, that's their own fault because they didn't learn from the Emoji Movie.
Kids who grew up in the Emoji Movie are going to be like really confused by the concept of life support. God, we have to educate them.
Oh God,
we need to make sure that they're clear on that.
Do you have any last thoughts on the Emoji Movie, Cam?
You think I have any last thoughts after that fucking philosophical insight? I spent all my thoughts on that.
Okay, so yeah, that's it for the Emoji Movie, folks. Thanks for listening. I don't know. Go see it if you're curious, I guess. But honestly, I just wait for it.
Yeah, you'll be disappointed. It's not fun. It's not fun bad.
Yeah, it's just...
Go rent 9 Lives from Redbox. Yeah. Watch 9 Lives.
I guess, I don't know. I don't want to say it's like the worst animated film I've ever seen, because I'm sure I've probably seen something much, much worse.
It's not the worst. It's mostly just dull and lame and bleak. It'll make you feel pessimistic about life.
Yeah. So again, thanks for watching. This is tune in next time to the next episode of Everything But Music, where we will finally actually talk about music, and then never again for the rest of our lives.
I hope it doesn't make you feel pessimistic about life.
No, it will.